What's going on, everybody? It's Monday, February 1st, 2021. You're listening to another episode of the Boiler Breakdown podcast. I'm your host, Tanner Lee, along with Evan Webb and Andrew Eiler. Back to the three-man band this week. How's it going,
sir? Good to be here.
We're here and ready to rock and roll, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Something like that. So, well, the Boilers are ranked.
Yeah.
About time.
Yeah. Took 5 of the last 6 games to get ranked, but ranked 24th in the Associated Press poll. Still not ranked yet in the coaches. I think we are the second team receiving votes behind Minnesota.
Which makes no sense. I mean, they've got some good wins, but they haven't won a road game. We just beat the brakes off of them.
How's Ohio State ranked 7th? So,
right.
Yeah. It's the world of college basketball right now, especially within the Big Ten. Nothing makes sense.
That's for sure.
But feeling pretty good after the other night's win, the 81-62 win over Minnesota. Wasn't feeling good No, I should take that back. I was feeling okay at halftime because I couldn't believe we were only down by 5.
Yeah, but with the fact that Marcus Carr had 0 points when they were still up 5 was a little concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they had the scenario where they had a couple guys just go. I mean, kind of what our worst fear is as Purdue fans is some random dudes going off randomly for 3-pointers, or you got some guy who's won for his last 100 who all of a sudden can't miss, and that kind of happened to start. But you kind of hoped that, I mean, they're the worst 3-point shooting team in the conference, but they started out like 4 for 5 or something like that, and kind of just hoped that the trend would the water would eventually find its level, which it did, thankfully, and same for us. I think we shot like 80% from 3 in the second half after going 0 for in the first, so take it.
I mean, could any of us say we were really that surprised that a cold shooting team or a team that's usually cold shooting came out red hot? I wasn't surprised.
Not at all, no.
Oh, man. But like you said, it eventually evened out. And I feel like when you play Minnesota, if you shut down Marcus Carr like Eric Hunter Jr. did, and the whole team, it was kind of a team effort on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you got a pretty good chance to beat Minnesota if you can contain him.
Yeah, Robin.
Free throw line.
Yeah, that was a big thing, too. I think he shot, only
2 free throws, I think.
2 free throws, made them both. So that was key. I mean, Robbins played 30 minutes, got 15 points off 16 shots. So I think we did a heck of a job. Now, Grant, I feel like he took a lot of shots outside the paint. I could be wrong, maybe misremember, but I feel like he could have easily just. I mean, he's the biggest guy on the court, except when Edey was out there, so I don't know why he didn't try and pound it down low. But
yeah, he was one that I was really concerned about going into the game. I thought he'd get Travion in foul trouble pretty quickly, and then Purdue would be in trouble. But that wasn't the case.
He had like 6 blocks, I think.
They blocked a lot of shots.
He had 6 blocks. They had 7 as a team. He had 6 of them.
They blocked a lot of our shots when we were trying to drive into the hoop. But I liked the aggressiveness Purdue guard showed in the second half. I thought that kind of turned the whole game around.
Definitely. I mean, that's where the offense got going. I mean, they only scored 30 points in the first half, and then erupted for 52, 53. What was the final? 82 or 80?
Yeah, 51, yeah.
51,
yeah. We almost doubled up Minnesota in the second half.
Yeah.
They scored 27. We had 51.
It seems like that's not doubling up an opponent per se in the second half, but it seems like it's kind of a common tread right now for Purdue's. Start slow in the first half and then come out firing in the second.
It's pretty incredible the comeback wins. I mean, it's typical Purdue. It's never easy, but actually, as far as games go, this was kind of the easier one because Purdue got up 10 or something with 10 minutes to go in the game, and I think maybe they pushed it to 13, and then maybe they cut it to 6 or something at one point, and that might have been the closest it got, and then Purdue pushed it back to double digits, and I think it stayed there, but. For Purdue, that was considered a comfortable win.
Yeah, it was for this year, indeed. But this team's growing up before our eyes, and they're fun to watch. Easy to root for.
Yeah, well, I think even one of the coaches, I might have been Lutz, I was reading somewhere that he kind of talked about how this team never really it can be good and kind of bad, but they never really truly understand the gravity of the moment. And it's good the fact that, late in the game, whatever, like there's kind of like whatever about it. and they're not really fazed by the moment, but also sometimes you need to realize the gravity of the situation in terms of a game. But I think that's just because of just the youth of the team. But it's worked out so far, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, look at the freshmen that are making an impact the other night. I mean, of course, Brandon Newman, career high, 29 points, Big Ten Freshman of the Week this week for the second time this season, fifth time Purdue's had that honor. I mean, at this point, they could just name it the Purdue Freshman of the Week award. That'd be nice. But, of course, he played well. I didn't realize he's only missed one free throw on the season. That's
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Makes sense why we chose him to shoot 2 tactical free throws, which was a big point in the game at the time. Jay Ivey, I mean, when he got a grab, made some really good plays that helped out a bunch.
He had that back-to-back stretch of the blow-by dunk, and then like next time down the floor, the and one finish through contact, driving by. It was crazy.
Yeah, blow by, and like you said, that dunk. His head was pretty much at the rim. Webby, if all the listeners and viewers out there don't know, Evan Webb, he's kind of been our new guy in charge of the in-game tweets as of the past probably month or so, and he's done a fantastic job at it. And I love the tweet, Evan, that you put out there to inject that into my veins. That was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was definitely. I mean, we compare him a lot to Carson. It's very Carson-esque. It's just he's 4 inches bigger than Carson.
Yeah.
Carson was
long. Yeah.
As someone put on the boards, Carson was built like a Coke machine, which I thought that was hilarious. But it's true. Like Carson was built different, but I think they tried to say that Ivy was stronger than Carson, which is that's false right now, anyways. But Ivy's just so much bigger. But it was definitely a Carson-esque.
And Carson was a better shooter.
Carson was a way better
Carson
shooter.
Improved a lot, though.
He did.
Shooting is after freshman year. So
Jaden hits the floor more than any Purdue player I've seen since Lewis Jackson.
It scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, he's reckless. But then like I think one of you mentioned, also Gillis played good the other night.
How many offensive rebounds? Yeah, how many offensive rebounds does he just comes out of nowhere and he's just in the perfect position? There's nobody there, and he just gets a
He had 5 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive.
But I wonder how many of those offensive rebounds led to like wide open point blank layups.
Yep.
Where it's like, that's just him on that side of the block in perfect position for an uncontested layup.
Yep.
He just finds ways to get open. He nailed 2 wide open threes the other night, which was nice to see. I couldn't remember the last time he had made a 3, so that was nice.
After hitting his first 20, it seemed like.
He's kind of got a combination. I know I keep saying he's kind of like Grady Eifert with a higher ceiling, but I'd even say a little bit of mix of Evan Boudreau as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that he plays really hard. I think he's more talented.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against those guys, but
I agree.
I mean, he's a redshirt freshman who's playing his first games in 2+ years, almost 3 years.
Point. That's a good point.
I mean, he's got a long way to go. I think where he can keep improving, it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, which is the case for a lot of these guys. I mean, that's what's so exciting. We hammer it. I feel like we're a broken record at this point. Keep talking about the future, but how can you not get excited about it? And the Big Ten's starting to take notice, I think, finally, and maybe even some of the national media, because they're like, whoa, this Purdue team's going to be pretty good next year and in the next few years to come when these freshmen grow up. And a lot of them don't even know about the other incoming recruiting classes in the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, before the year, I was not optimistic about the year. I mean, I was excited just because of the youth that it's going to be different, and I thought we'd see flashes.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought we'd be sitting ranked on February 1st.
I didn't think we'd be 8-4 in the Big Ten right now.
And fifth in the Big Ten right now or something.
Yeah, I mean top third for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I mean, it's we were younger at the time, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Baby Boiler year, where it was just kind of like, I mean, it was such a different time in terms of we were coming off a good year, but before that it was just atrocious basketball. I mean, not basketball, just results. I should say, and
it was pretty bad basketball for the most part. The last 80 years, first 10 years, pretty bad basketball.
I was trying to be nice, but it was one of those things where we knew the class that was coming in was good, and it was like, okay, one of those things where it'll come a time, and all of a sudden it was like, holy crap, these guys are really freaking good, and then it was like, we're knocking off number 7 Wisconsin, and. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of that. I think that team's obviously a bit more talented, but I think Painter's put a better back-to-back class than he did with that group.
And yeah.
Got a comment here on Facebook from Robert Rainey. Apologize if I mispronounced your last name, but imagine how good the future would be if Painter could recruit with a winky face emoji. Yeah, we heard that a couple times the last few years, didn't we?
Yeah, can't get the top dogs. We'll be the bagman. That's fine.
If you like podcasts and listen to Matt Painter speak, there's a good part one on Goodman and Hummel's podcast. And it's part one and part two was released today with Matt Painter. And he was talking about years ago, Bob Knight was talking to him, and Knight was telling him how he's getting kids that Knight would have got at the time.
Which when he said that, I was like, he's 100% right. I mean, there's a lot of the good that Knight did in terms of like the kids he got. I think that you see that a lot with Painter.
Yeah, he's getting the kids. I mean, they might lack in some areas, but they're high IQ basketball players. Most of them can shoot. They play hard. They're smart.
Yep.
I mean, you give and take a little bit, and I mean he even mentioned how Bob tapped him on the shoulder one time after he kind of got away from his recruiting ways and kind of reminded him you got away from those, didn't you?
Yeah.
So he went for the more athletic approach for a year or two there, and it kind of bit him. But loyal listener of the show, Thad Mooney, says the Baby Boilers 2.0 coming to life.
I saw some people saying almost 3.0. If you consider Vince, Dakota, Isaac Hobbs, PJ, just because of how much they accomplished in 4 years. I mean, not quite the same level as Hummel, Juwan, Etuan, but I mean, they had a great 4 years for Purdue.
And a lot of those guys contributed pretty early too. It's not. I mean, I'm trying to think the one. I mean, Dakota kind of came along a little after. Same with PJ, but obviously Vince and Isaac were the ones who kind of were the stars of that class.
But that was the foundation of the team for 3 years. Like
100%.
these five guys are going to be for the next 3-4 years, hopefully.
It'll be interesting next year, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but next year how Matt's going to divvy up the playing time. Whew.
Especially down low. If you got Gillis, I mean, if Wheeler comes back, then you got obviously Trey and Edie, and then you throw in Kaufman, Wren, and First, kind of all playing very similar positions. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I know we're basing it off of how First and Kaufman Wren have played up to that point in high school, but I mean,
they're pretty highly ranked, highly sought after recruits for what Purdue has gotten. So I mean, I think it's okay to have fairly lofty expectation for them as freshmen.
Yeah, I agree.
But fortunately they're not gonna be needed right away to kind of lead the team because they have such a good foundation with the existing core.
We're gonna technically have a huge freshman class next year.
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah.
That rule's still crazy to me. Like, I get why it's in place, but like, I feel like basketball, even though it's been a weird year and a lot of games postponed, I feel like in basketball, though, everybody still has played enough games to where they probably should have lost their year of eligibility.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I don't know. Would you rather than make an exception? So like a guy like Sasha, so somebody who misses, Sasha's going to miss 3 or 4 games probably, and if Purdue has a couple more games canceled, so then he's going to have missed 7 games, we'll say, of his already shortened season. You can make an exception for him or something versus just a blanket rule, and then you'd have people petitioning all over the place. It's like I only missed 3, but this guy missed 6, and he got a waiver. And
there was nothing they could do that was going to make everybody happy. So
no, it'll be interesting because like football, there's so many scholarships and spots that you can kind of.
And people
take a flyer basically, or kind of like hide them almost.
You got guys moving all the time in terms of leaving, going transfer, especially if this new transfer rule comes into effect, which I think we're all pretty much on the assumption it's going to. I mean, you'll have guys leaving
free agency
after their first year.
Yep. The seniors, hey, what are you thinking right now? Are you going to come back after next year for your?
Well, especially because
we've
got 2 guys committed already for 2022, and that's the class that I think are really affected by it, and even more so 2 years after that with these current freshmen. I think I did that math right.
Sounds right to me.
Because you got, I mean, Eric, maybe cool to have Hunter back. It'd be have a guard come back, especially with the younger guards coming in. I can't see Trey coming back a 5th year unless he gets hurt or something.
I can't see Wheeler coming back for like 100th year.
No, Sasha.
I can see Sasha. I mean,
I mean, would have taken Klein. We would have taken Klein last year.
100,000%. Yeah.
But would have taken Ryan Smith back in the day for another year too.
But then you've already got 2 guards committed. Suppose you're going after a 3rd guy. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's a weird thing, especially with the fact these guys have committed so early. That puts Painter in an interesting position.
Well, I was thinking it's more of what do you do with big guys, because they've got the 2 guards in that class, and it's 2 highly sought after big guys that they're going after. So what if Trey decides like, oh, I'm going to be a late round 2nd pick or something? I can stay 1 more year and then go play in Europe for a few years. I want to stay. So then Purdue's got Edey, Trey, Kaufman first, and then this 5-star from La Lumiere's like, maybe I don't want to go there.
Right.
Well, I guess Purdue, and this doesn't seem like the Purdue way, but they always could be like, we don't want you back.
I don't think you say that to Trevion Williams.
I don't think they would either, but I'm just saying they could always say we're not going to honor that.
But I mean, you go from everybody's going to be stacked though.
Like, because especially with someone like Painter definitely favors someone who experience. I mean, he saw that kind of last year with Sasha getting the nod over maybe someone younger. And so, like, would he tell Trey, hey, I just don't see playing time for you after he just spent most of his career starting for us
and averaging a double-double.
And we're gonna start the sophomore.
Oh yeah, you're like a top 5. Yeah, you're like a top 5 like player in the Big Ten. I don't see minutes for you next year.
It's like I don't know what you do. Same. I'm glad I'm not a coach. But that's why they get paid millions of dollars.
Yep, you're right. To make tough decisions.
I'm sure we fall in love with these kids more than like Painter does, because Painter's probably like, I'd probably rather take a 24-year-old Trevion Williams over an 18-year-old high school kid. And
that's a good point.
I'll find somebody better next year. I'll find somebody just as good and who's a junior in high school instead of that senior. Like, sure, Painter's like, on to the next one. That's fine. He's been told no plenty of times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not as often now, but
for a while there, it was we were in the running for a lot of them long term, and then
dream school. Dream school, perfect fit, and then Tom Izzo and the bag of money showed up or something. I don't know.
Yep, that's working out well for him this year.
That's so wild. It just still blows my mind.
I hate to see it.
They're going to make a run in February enough to make the tournament, and then they're going to really make a run in the tournament just to make everybody.
I don't know. This team, I was watching the game against Ohio State yesterday. They are not good. Which kind of
2-6 in the Big Ten right now.
They're not like, we beat them by 1 or like 2, or beat them by 1 or 2.
There's a possibility this tournament might be without Michigan State, Duke, Kentucky, maybe even Carolina.
Well, I saw it was DeCourcy.
You're forgetting another blue blood, Tanner.
Oh yeah,
that school and that blue blood in the South.
Oh yeah, the ones that think it's still 1987.
Yeah, that hasn't beaten Purdue in
in the last 20 years. Yeah. Besides the fact, I was watching. Oh no, DeCourcy came out with this bracketology for February 1st, and he had us as a 5 seed and playing a 12 seed, either Stanford or Duke. Duke is a 12 seed.
Yep.
That is.
Coach K is going to quit before that. He's going to cancel the season before his team gets even like if they're like the last 4 in, first 4 out. Coach K is like, we're going to withdraw our consideration.
I mean, Jalen Johnson is a phenomenal player. I mean, he about murdered a kid the other night with the way he dunked on him. But
I mean, never say never. I've seen Kentucky with Nerlens Noel in the NIT. I remember Kentucky made the championship as a 9 seed. Lost to UConn. So weird things have happened, but not so much with Duke, but still.
It's been a weird because you've kind of seen like some of the normal kind of for both football and basketball. You've seen kind of the normal powers that be really struggle. I mean, you saw like Penn State, and I guess you could maybe lump Michigan in there, just kind of like in terms of powers of the Big Ten. They sucked. And then you got basketball this year. You got Kentucky's awful. Duke is not playing well at all. Kansas is not Kansas that we're used to. Oh, they're still ranked. I don't know how they're. I mean, that's why the rankings are stupid. They've lost 5 of the last 6. It's not. It's not the Kansas of old. It's just weird.
Yep. But definitely glad the Boilers are starting to hit their stride come February, and we got 2 games as of right now for this week at Maryland tomorrow night as of right now at 6:30 tip-off on Big Ten Network. But there was a report that the Purdue's plane might have had to turn around as they're making their trip out east to College Park. So I don't know what the latest is on there. That's kind of worrisome if that happened due to the weather. And then Saturday they will host Northwestern for the first and only time this season. So it sure would be nice if they could get 2 of 3 without Sasha.
Yeah. Especially this last one I did not feel confident with this one. And I think Cameron, you and I recorded last week, I predicted Purdue win, but that's just because I can't pick against them. But I was not feeling, even though we were favored. I know Minnesota struggled on the road, but still, I was like, man, just after watching that Michigan game, just seeing how our offense just did not play very well without Sasha. But we also had quite a bit of time. We had quite a bit of practice time to kind of figure it out, and obviously it worked out in the end.
Yeah. I felt pretty good going into the other nights, but then when the game got closer, then I was like, I don't know if I feel so good about it now. But yeah, like we mentioned, it's fun to see these young guys just fight and claw.
I was thinking about it. So Mason Gillis, Brandon Newman have been huge as redshirt freshmen. When was the last time? I was kind of think like, okay, the redshirt in basketball, it's kind of a little different. It's like a project almost, where he's got to get improved skills.
Mm-hmm.
Like versus football, they've got to physically mature and get stronger. Just because these kids coming out of high school play so much basketball. Can you remember redshirt freshmen coming in and contributing as much as these two? That's my thought. Is I think of a redshirt, it's like a project. It's like, oh, okay, redshirt freshman year, maybe get some minutes of redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore year, and then junior, senior year, they've grown significantly and they've improved, and now they're major contributors.
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of a single one. I'm trying to think who's redshirt. Obviously, I've thought of guys who should have redshirted probably, like a Klein, like a Ryan Smith.
Anthony Johnson redshirted, but he didn't turn out. I
think he was kind of hurt too, wasn't he? Didn't he have some problems?
Ankle. He was ranked top 40 kid. I'm thinking, why are we redshirting this kid? But
yeah.
I get it. Like you can't. I'm not second guessing anything. Or no. I was just thinking about it. Watching them last night, I was like, man, like I'm sure they've improved a lot. And it probably speaks to Purdue's coaches how much they've worked on them with them the last.
Well, I think it was
year and a half.
They talked about it last year when obviously when we struggled, people were crying, why do we redshirt? These kids are that good. Why are they sitting on the bench? Not even being able to play. And I think it was reported that I think Newman even struggled just like breaking down a defender. Defense. He struggled on defensive end, but I think he even struggled with, which you can kind of see it too. Sometimes I feel like his handles could definitely improve moving forward. I feel like maybe just the way it looks a little awkward. I feel like when he tries to drive, I feel like he keeps the ball pretty high. But yeah, I think there's a reason Painter felt like he should.
Yeah, and I know he knows what he's doing because he sees like, okay, that 1 year they're going to improve so much that they're going to be so much better their 5th year in the program versus this first year, and it's worth it. And it speaks a lot to those two watching Purdue struggle so much last year and stick with it and keep fighting and keep improving and clearly still working at it. And I don't know.
You hear, I know Newbert talked about it on one of his post-game. Either it was his post-game or the conversation he had with Dean Hart and Alan Karpick on Sunday. He's talking about how, because obviously, we eat it up as Purdue fans, but seeing, Ivy come out there and shoot after a game, after even having a good game or a bad game coming out, as soon as he's done with needed duties or whatever, maybe out there shooting, and then obviously has a game at Ohio State, and then he has a pretty decent game yesterday, and comes out immediately, he starts shooting, then Newman comes out, and then Williams comes out. It's just, I think it kind of goes back to seeing Robbie do that, because I think it was I think Robbie did that after a game. I don't know what game. I feel like it was a game either he struggled with or we just struggled maybe from the free throw line, but he was out there shooting free throws. Maybe it just makes us think of that. But I know Newbert kind of said that, last year we would have a game, and after the game you'd have Brandon Newman be out there, and he didn't even play. But he's out there shooting, getting up shots, getting to work, which is, I think, just shows how badly these guys want to be good, which only bodes well for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just the drive of these young guys. It's refreshing to see. They're just so easy to root for.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Andrew's saying that it's a mechanical issue with the plane, so it's not weather, not COVID.
That's the rumor. So it sounds like that they're turning around to change planes and then still head out east.
Good deal.
Okay.
Good deal. Just another bump in the road of travel. So,
well, what was the Michigan a couple years ago in the Big Ten tournament? Like they're playing like crash, and they had to play the first game in practice.
Yeah. That's right.
Beat Illinois, then they beat us because we couldn't hit a free throw, and they won the whole darn thing or got the championship. No, they won the whole thing.
I think they won the whole thing. Yeah,
as the 8th seed, so and got them in the tournament.
Butler had one a few years ago where like the plane, I don't know what it was, but they had to descend like super quick. Like they went from 30,000 feet to like 10,000 feet in like 25 seconds or something stupid. And they were coming back from like Philadelphia playing Villanova or something like that. And so they stayed overnight because it was like a late, like 9 o'clock game or whatever. Like the players were like, nah, we're not getting a plane. Like we'll drive home tomorrow.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We're going to sleep in the hotel. And
we'll go tomorrow by bus or something.
Yeah. So I got a few questions. One was in text messages, and we got one on Twitter today. Thad Mooney, who commented on the show earlier, we got a response here on Facebook from Ray Davis. I know my son would rebound after games for players back in Cardinal Court after games. His son Brock was a manager for the Boilermakers a couple of years ago, so. It's nice when you see evidence of guys putting in work behind the scenes. That's really nice to see. Thad's question was related to Nogel Eastern and Matt Harms. He said, would having one or both of them help this team as we stand at this point in the season? Why and why not? Or if just one of them, why not?
I think Harms would help over either of the two.
I think so. I agree.
Because I go back and forth because it's like, man, I guess just because you could plug him in for Edie and give Edie another year to work. But I also think sometimes Harms would be could have flashes of being too good, and then not letting Trey be out there because it didn't really work with having them both out there.
Yeah,
but,
I don't.
More so, I miss his defense, his shot blocking ability. That's what I miss the most. I mean, obviously, Nogel was, one of the best perimeter defenders in the country. But he's just a liability on offense. So that's where I feel like I would rather have. I would have Matt.
Yeah,
I agree.
Thad's comment here, and I'm trying to read. There's a few typos here, so. He said, I look at Matt. I think he left right as Trey would have the minutes. Edie does what Matt would off the bench, and he's not soft like Matt. But with no fans, Matt's energy would have been lightning in a bottle.
That's very true.
Yeah, I don't know. I would agree Harms probably, but I think Edie does too much on offense to where he's just Isaac Haas, to where he's too big to stop down low, and Harms would play soft. And I think it's more of just that it would be another body that if Trevion gets 3 fouls in the first 10 minutes of a game or something, or he's got 2 fouls in the first 6 minutes of the first half and doesn't play the rest, that you've got another body, and Edie doesn't have to be like you're worried that Edie's going to get 2 fouls in the next 2 minutes, and then Purdue's not going to have a center and have to play Gillis or something. And I agree. I think Nogel just takes away too much on offense, just not being able to shoot. I mean, if you put Trevion out there and Nogel, he's got a pretty great defense, but you don't really have to guard Nogel.
Yeah.
Thad's comment on Nogel was Nogel's defense would help till the young guys get used to the league and give him some more strength until the young guys got some more strength. But he said he thinks it's good he's gone because his attitude was a cancer to the team last year, in his opinion.
Yeah. He always seemed like he had I feel like he had a decent attitude on the court, but who knows what was being done.
Yeah, we'll never know. It seems like they both were nice kids, and it's just
not bad advice, but yeah.
It's too bad one didn't get their degree,
right.
Is what it is. But got another comment here on Facebook from Roberts. Says Harms would be money just in helping Edie develop.
Yeah, I think Edie would have just beaten him up in practice. And Harms would have quit. Harms would have gotten broken by him.
Well, Harms, right when he got on campus, you remember he redshirted.
Yeah.
Well, because he had to go.
He might be one he'd be probably the closest one, going back to your question, Andrew,
Yeah.
of redshirt freshman, just because, I mean,
Yeah.
But he was forced into redshirting.
right. He was
because the NCAA was like, your eligibility starts now.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he did a decent job his freshman year.
True.
Probably more so than anybody. So, yeah, I forgot about Harms.
Yeah, that's true.
And that poor guy had to go against Biggie and Isaac every day in practice. Talk about getting beat up.
Yep.
Yeah. But I guess so now, we all kind of would pick Harms. Would you rather have Harms or the team we have now?
I'm good with the team we got now.
Yeah, I think I like Edie's toughness and how
He's not doing anything different at BYU than he would have done at Purdue. He's shooting
terribly.
about the same, really. His minutes are the same. His points are about the same. I mean, he runs the same. His hair is still flopping around. I mean, he's just Matt being Matt, same guy out there. So,
11 points, 4 rebounds.
There was an interesting bracketology last week that had us as the 6th seed and BYU as the 11th seed playing against each other in the first round.
Awesome. I'd love to see Edie dunk all over Harms.
It'd be awesome unless he just went off somehow, and then we would just that'd be awful.
I think and he's shooting a cool 16% from 3.
Could you imagine him hitting a big 3 late in the game and getting back and clapping like that? Oh, man.
Great song.
I would feel how Indiana fans feel about him to this day. So
I'd have a very will she like reaction like I did when he flexed on the paint crew when we were there. That would be irate.
Got one more question from Twitter today. This comes from Boiler Fang at Boilers_Dallas on Twitter. He said, we will not be able to join, but I got a question worthwhile discussing. What is our realistic range of outcomes for March Madness?
I guess I want to know, is he talking about just like in general or obviously probably more so Purdue?
I'm guessing it's just how far can this Purdue team get, assuming they get into the
tournament.
That's what I'm assuming he's going.
Man.
I think
making the tournament's a success. That's a lot of money to start the year. So.
Agree. But I feel like this team has improved so much. I mean, right now they've won 5 of the last 6, with the one loss being against the number 7 team in the country at the time. I don't know what they are now, Michigan. I think I'd be almost, I don't know, it's changed so much. I'd be almost disappointed if they lost in the first round.
Yeah, I think when we read that question, my first thought was I can see us easily getting, not easily, I guess depending on the seed we have, but like as of right now, I think a round of 32 exit is probably is pretty obtainable. Yeah.
Anything after that's kind of like this is
amazing.
Sweet
16 with this team. Oh my God.
Matt Painter, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, I think DeCourcy had us. We would have played, I think, 5 seed Tennessee in the. That's true.
Robert on Facebook said depends on how far away from home they get, an hour versus 45 minutes.
Yeah,
they won't be at Mackey. We know that.
I'd be okay to see him at Hinkle. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mackey South. I'll be cool with that.
Hey, we shot.
Shoot well in that building.
Yeah, so this is the first game we've shot well since playing them. It's down there, so yeah, why not? Familiar rims. I think our round of 32 exit is probably, as of right now. I mean, I think anything below. I mean, really, I think if you're in that 8-9, or I guess I never know to say below or above, like in terms of a higher is higher seed better, or is that you want lower seed in terms of like where you're at in the standings? I never know what to say. But I think if we're that 8-9 or better, round of 32 is pretty attainable. If we're if we dip off and we're in that 11, 12, 10 range, then I think just making a tournament is a blessing.
I agree. Just get us in the tournament. I'm happy with that. And then after that, it's gonna be a weird year. It's gonna be a weird tournament. It's gonna be weird. It's weird everything.
And that's also assuming that we don't have any more issues where, say, Trevion Williams gets COVID and has to miss the last 2.5 weeks of the season or something.
Correct. Yeah. So I think it's pretty public knowledge that everybody on the team's had it now except Ethan Morton. I think.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Like before the season?
Yeah.
So like October?
Yep. Or October, if not a little earlier, which who knows about then, with the antibodies. But
3 months, right?
That's why they were really trying to give Bubble Sasha big time, and it still didn't matter.
I mean, it's tough, especially because, when when you have 40,000 kids coming back to campus.
Exactly.
It's yeah. And we saw, as Tanner, you and I talked about it, we saw the uptick with the football team right after Thanksgiving.
Remember we thought we'd be good.
Yeah.
We thought we'd be good if we got to Thanksgiving and the campus left, and then that's when everything hit the fan. It's like, well, that's why we're not scientists.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So we just do a podcast.
Yep, we just are fans and graduate. Well, two of us are graduates. One's just a lifelong fan, and so we just talk about things. But the one destination I don't want to see Purdue playing in is Bankers Life, even though we shot there good against. That's the last one I want.
No.
Any of the other venues I'm okay with.
Yeah,
I wish they would have done like Pike High School or something like that. Like pick the high school would have been.
Why not? Yeah, I guess.
Well, the reason they couldn't is the length of the courts. That is the reason. If it was because the college courts are 10 feet longer. So
and you also have the 3-point line difference.
Correct. So
but that they could do that all the time. They could do the temporary paint all the time.
Because they got, there's so many cool historical gyms in Indiana. That would have been really neat. But
play like Crispus Attucks, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. It'd be just like the Maui Invitational when they play in that high school gym in Hawaii.
Yeah, Chaminade.
Yeah.
Chaminade. Yep. Steve Dodson said I'd rather play in Mackey South. I agree.
I think, if we're gonna play somewhere, I think I'd rather play there.
Larry Davis would go to Grace College. That'd be a good venue. They got a nice little arena there.
Actually, they do. Yeah, I've been.
They do have a nice. It is nice.
Really
There'll just be a little bit of dry. I know Muncie is the backup option if they need a emergency one.
Do you guys think the Big Ten tournament happens? Like
No.
I think it makes no sense to do it. Like to do these conference tournaments.
Which I was thinking about that, and I was like, there's really no point. But then I was like, man, there's gonna be some school like freaking Michigan State or somebody who's like, whoa, this is our time to.
What?
It's like you had 20 games or you had 16
what?
games to figure this out. Yeah, it's kind of it is what it is.
I had two people today tell me they think it will happen.
Really,
I don't see. It seems totally unnecessary like risk if the NCAA is committed to having the NCAA tournament and
bubble
they
for 2 weeks. Yeah,
like. Or even like all these makeup games, like
that's
I was like Nebraska gonna finish.
They can't make them all up. There's no way they can.
I think we talk about it. I've heard people talk about it too. I think we just AAU this thing and just have like 12 courts going on or like 6 courts going on. Everybody's playing at the same time. It's just like we're starting at 8 a.m. We're ending at 9 p.m. I think that's the way we do it.
Get it done in like 6 days.
Yeah, exactly. Get done in 3.
I did see where Nebraska's back at practice today.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't think Nebraska can make all those games up. I don't know if Michigan State can. Who knows where Michigan's going to be sitting? That's why I don't think a Big Ten tournament happens. And my worry is, okay, if a Big Ten tournament does happen, all these teams come there. What if a few players get positive?
Exactly.
And boom, you're in trouble. Right on the heels of the NCAA tournament.
Right.
It should be like, okay, you've got a week. Like we're doing Selection Sunday. Everybody get to Indianapolis and stay put for like, and then you get a lot of practice, and there's probably not enough gyms to do that. But
and that's the thing. I know they were thinking about holding it in Indianapolis instead of Chicago, and then that way, say the Big Ten gets 9, 10, 11 teams in the tournament, they could just all stay in Indianapolis. But still, I still don't know it's worth the risk of those other additional teams. So I don't know. It's another decision I'm glad I don't have any part of.
The COREC's got 8 courts. I say we just do the whole damn thing there.
I agree.
Don't let them leave Mackey. So from that week, it's like, all right, the guys, you're sleeping on Cardinal Court. Not leaving.
Exactly, yeah.
This is a little getting off the tangent, but that was another favorite part of the interview with Painter was I didn't know this. And Andrew, have you listened to it today?
Oh, yeah.
I'm only halfway through it right now.
I probably get spoiled this for you guys, but now I'm already too far into it. But he was talking about Glenn Robinson's freshman year when Glenn was academically ineligible. Glenn couldn't even practice with the team. So Glenn and the managers had an intramural team.
Oh my God.
Matt coached the team. Painter coached. They lost.
How?
He said they got to the semifinals, maybe the championship, and they played against a team that was literally a high school varsity team who had stuck together, ran plays and everything.
What?
And his was just give the ball to Glenn, and he said that was the one game, and just the other team was hard to stop.
Being involved in intramurals when I was at Purdue, like in officiating, we saw some pretty athletic teams, especially when you get like some of the football guys got on teams. Holy crap! Like it was It was nuts.
He said he'd come back to practice and he talked to the other coaches in the offseason, like the Northwestern coaches, and he's like, I know you're talking about Weber and Howard and Rose and all these guys. He goes, we got one that's better than all of them. And they're kind of like shaking their head like, okay, like we know Glenn's good, but sure. And that's like, no, trust me, like this guy, he's really good. And then boom. So that was pretty neat. I never had heard that story before. So that was really cool. And Matt goes, I should have known then. Couldn't win with Glenn Robinson on the intramural team when I was coaching. I should have known then. It was a bunch of good stories. Him and Hummel going back and forth was fun to listen to today.
Yeah.
Any Painter interview, literally anytime he's on anything, he's awesome.
He is fantastic. So and Goodman's
Matt would love to have you on the show.
Yes, we would. That's an invite to Coach Painter, Coach Paint to join the Boiler Breakdown sometime.
I'm going to talk.
Let's see what else we got here.
Let's talk about some pizza. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm always eating pizza.
I could eat pizza every day. That's why the Boiler Breakdown is brought to you by Mad Mushroom, serving Boilermakers since 1993. Mad Mushroom is located in the heart of West Lafayette and is well known as the home of the original cheese sticks. Whenever we like to visit, we like to sit down, have an ice cold beer while enjoying their latest pizza of the month, which new month means new pizza. This month, we've got the Raisin Cajun, house-made Cajun sauce, some kind of sausage. Don't know how to pronounce it, not even going to try. We got some chicken, onion, celery, green peppers, tomatoes, and mozzarella cheese. Mad Mush, reach out. I need to know how to pronounce that word so I don't butcher this for the next 3 weeks. You can spice up your February with the Cajun-inspired pie. Sounds good to us.
I love spicy food. So
I love spicy food, especially now when it's cold.
It doesn't always love me a little acid sometimes, but I put up with the pain.
But next time you're in town, stop in, tell them Boiler Breakdown sent you for $5 off any order over $20. And any Boiler Breakdown listener can also use the coupon code BREAK5. That's coupon code BREAK, all caps, BREAK, number 5. Claim their discount at madmushroom.com. Mad Mushroom, feed your head.
Another comment here on Facebook. Ray Davis says, referring to the other Ray Davis, get Rayfield Davis on the show. Yes, that is one I want to reach out.
It's on our to-do list.
Yes, and him and I got a few players I'd like to
we
reach
got
out
another couple of people.
I got to get on that. I got to get on that one soon. So got to make time to do it. But you guys want to pick some Big Ten games real quick?
Sure.
Tomorrow night, let's just start Purdue at Maryland. I don't have any lines on this game.
I think we were like a 1-point favorite last time.
I see ESPN says even.
Maryland has not won a Big Ten home game, but they've won 3 really good road games.
And they played us really tough on Christmas Day. I mean, granted, that was also a month ago.
And I think Purdue's playing much better.
Ray Davis says Chris Kramer. That's another one on my list.
Yeah. The Northeast Indiana boys. That's what we're going for. The Huntington-Fort Wayne crowd. I feel better about this game. I mean, the fact that we've won at Ohio State. I mean, we're still. I can't remember much about Maryland. I think they went small for a while. I think that gave us struggles. But I think we win a close one. Ray says by 7. I think I would take that. I'm thinking it's probably less, around like a pretty close game, like a 1-possession type game,
like it was on Christmas.
Yeah, which I just don't need on a Tuesday night in my life, but it's cool.
Same. I think Purdue wins by like 2.
Yeah.
I was nervous without Sasha how the offense would look, but I think the coaching staff with Shrewsbury and Lutz, I mean, it's ridiculous how great the out of bounds plays and the sets out of timeouts are just to get shots and get offense. That they're going to figure out the offense, as we saw. I mean, they scored 80 points, whatever that was Saturday.
I'll go Boilers by 9. I hope it's a decently comfortable win. I have
anytime.
One of the boards I'm on, I have a Zoom call at 7. So I'm going to be watching the game while doing a Zoom call. It could be very dangerous.
Isn't the game at 8?
No, it changes to
6:30. So it could be a very interesting Zoom call for me to be on. I've never attempted this. It could be the first and last time. So, so I'm praying for a good first half at least. We'll see. Michigan State at Iowa.
I've got Iowa by 10.5, and that is a slap in the face to Iowa. I think Iowa by 20.
They will be mad. They will be mad.
They'll be mad. Michigan State. I it's just so weird to see. I just keep going back. They don't have a dominant guard like we're so used to Cassius Winston and other guys like that. They don't have a big like a Ward or any like
Xavier Tillman.
Those guys jumped, both of them.
Yeah, Langford. I mean, he's okay. They can't shoot. Malik Hall looks unimpressive. That's just such a bummer.
I think Iowa, but I bet it's close to that. Like I don't know if I bet Iowa barely covers. I bet it's like 12.
I'm going Iowa 20. I think they lights out.
I'm gonna go Iowa by 7. I think Sparty puts up a fight, but Iowa gets. I can't see an Izzo team getting beat by 15 plus 3 games in a row. I don't think that's ever happened.
Hey, 2020, 2021.
You're right. It's the year for.
Is Hauser? Does he have another year after this? I guess everybody has another year after
Probably.
this. But was he a 2-year grad or transfer, or was he a one and done type thing?
I thought he was a 2-year.
I thought it was 2. I was talking to someone that works in. They thought he was a 1.
Well, his brother's younger.
I thought they were twins.
Are they twins?
I don't think so. I thought his brother was a year younger. He's listed as a junior.
Thad Mooney's wish me good luck on the Zoom in the game. Didn't go well for him. Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
Ray Davis is agreeing with you, Webby. Iowa by 14, so he has them winning by a good margin. How about
Fran is not a good coach.
It's a great observation by you, Evan.
So the smart guy.
Fran's not a good coach, and he's worse in post-game press conference when he's angry.
Yeah, and it is towards the end of the year, and they kind of fall apart. So maybe I'm second guessing myself, but I'm going.
It's February. It's true.
It's February.
Fran. Yeah.
Bohannon has been awful. He is ever since his injury. He has not been the same that we saw a couple years ago. Frederick's still out. I think Garza goes off because I don't think they have anybody who can stop him unless somehow he gets in foul trouble. But he's the superstar, so I doubt it.
He got foul trouble Friday night against Illinois, but that's against Kofi.
Yeah, Underwood's grease in the pocket, so that's cool.
Yeah, they're both great coaches to watch. So neither of them wear a mask. One wears a chin strap. The other one, I don't even. He might have it.
Puts in his pocket.
I mean, Penn State at Wisconsin. These two teams just played over the weekend on Saturday.
They did.
Yep.
And Penn State won.
Yep. This one's at the Kohl Center.
I think Wisconsin gets revenge. I agree. I mean, Penn State has a net of like 29. They're right behind us.
They're gutsy, man.
Wild. I think Wisconsin 7. Wisconsin 7. I think Penn State covers that.
I agree with Ray. He says the biggest down point of the season is no manager games, and Purdue doesn't have any managers present. At least that I've seen. But no manager games. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
that's a bummer for all involved. And he's picking Wisconsin as well.
I think Wisconsin close.
Yeah, Penn State's got to fight. And they just bombed 3s. Ray says Wisconsin by 8. And then the nightcap tomorrow night on ESPN2, Illinois at Indiana.
Yeah, Illinois by 3.5.
That's stupid. I hope they win by 20.
They played them tough last time.
I know.
Indiana hadn't played in 10 days.
Exactly.
It just kind of depends on which team comes to play. I think it's going to – I mean, I was going to say if Trace gets in foul trouble, but he got in foul trouble against Iowa and they still pulled that one out. I think it's going to be another really – I think Illinois covers, but I think it's it's a single-digit game.
I would love Illinois to win by like 15 and Trace Jackson Davis to pound his chest still as like he dunks when they're down 18 with 30
seconds. He and one more than any player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I like the lineup by 9. Wednesday night's games postponed between Michigan and Northwestern. Ray's saying Illinois by 18, hopefully more. Signed me up for Illinois about as many as we can get. A good one Thursday night, Ohio State at Iowa. I'm taking the Hawkeyes again.
Same. I think Luke Garza is just too good. They've got too many shooters.
They need to make a statement. They got 3 big games this week. If they can win all 3 of them, wow. I mean, it's time to –
especially if they want to catch – I mean, you're 2 games behind Michigan. Obviously, they're on pause, but, I mean, trying to get to that.
That's going to be a cluster at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, right now Michigan's a 1 seed in some of the not said mock drafts, but the
brackets.
The brackets. And I think Iowa saw Iowa as a 3 or even a 4, which is
So Illinois is a 4.
Yeah, that's what it was. Illinois was a 4. I think Iowa was close. I think Iowa, but I think it's a really good game.
Ray says Iowa by 4. I'll take Iowa by 3. I think it's a good one. The Minnesota at Rutgers for the nightcap on Thursday night.
Will Minnesota finally win a Big Ten road game? I don't think so.
Saying no.
I'm saying Rutgers. Yeah.
Rutgers in a close one.
Which I
say by about 5.
think that made me really mad about the Minnesota game of the weekend was how gracious and defeat Patina was afterwards. I watched part of his interview and I was like, I just want to watch him just to hear him whine.
He's not that bad.
He didn't have anything to whine about. His team got whooped in the second half.
But still, it was just like, man.
I think he really likes Matt. So
yeah,
everybody likes Matt.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Friday night, and Ray says Rutgers by 8. Friday night, Maryland at Penn State.
I'm taking the Nittany Lions on this one.
I am too as well.
Yep. The Big Ten kind of wants to see these two be rivals. So
yeah.
Then on Saturday, interesting one here: Wisconsin at Illinois.
Illinois fairly comfortably,
Yeah,
like 8, I think.
yeah.
I don't think Wisconsin's all that good.
They don't have the guys down low. I think they got what's his face? Reuters
Potter?
or something like that. They got Potter, but then don't they have another big tall white guy? Reuters or something like that. They've got, I think he's kind of tall, lanky guy. No one can match up with Kofi.
If Wisconsin seniors come back next year, they're going to be older than the coaching staff.
They're already older than the Chicago Bulls, so.
Ray says Illinois by 10. I'll agree. I like that. Steve Dodson with the comment tonight. I doubt Archie likes Matt.
I don't think his wife does either.
He's not. Hope that continues in March.
I hope it goes for the rest of his life. Lifetime contract. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's get the funds going.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we do want to root for IU tomorrow.
Exactly. Keep it close.
Then Nebraska at Michigan State on Saturday. I think Sparty finally gets back in the win column.
Is this Nebraska? Yeah, gosh.
It was supposed to be Michigan
my
State,
God.
Michigan. That's
Yeah.
postponed.
If Nebraska wins this game, oh my God.
We might see Izzo just terminate the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think Michigan State wins.
He and Coach K will hold a joint press conference with their ribbons and cancel the season.
Yep.
I mean, it's got to be Michigan State, but I would absolutely love to see Nebraska win. Hoiberg,
And
I'd love it.
Sunday at noon on Fox. So this is your primetime college basketball game before the Super Bowl on Sunday. Iowa at Indiana.
I hope it's Iowa by 20.
Iowa's going to be pissed, you think.
Iowa lost to them the first time.
That's because they couldn't score for like 2 hours.
Yes,
It
that doesn't help.
felt like it doesn't help. And Fran made a dumb decision by playing his sons, and they sucked.
They do that all the time. It's
Yeah.
sticking out their fan base. I've heard from a few Iowa fans,
Yeah.
like they're just irate about it because they said they have another kid. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. A sophomore who's more talented, and he doesn't get time over this.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember his name, but yeah, they sat him, and their offense just fell apart when he went on the bench in the game. The first game against Indiana. And the thing about that game too, the first game between them, Indiana missed a bunch of free throws. That game could have been really ugly for Iowa.
Yes.
But I think Iowa steals one down south.
Ray says Iowa by 8.
I think it's a single-digit game still. I mean, Indiana's defense is really good. They're going to hold. I mean, their defense is going to keep a minute for the most part. It's just a matter if their offense is clicking or not.
I'll go Iowa by 11. Indiana's got to find a way to split this week, I think. But if Iowa can beat Michigan State, Ohio State, and Indiana, like I said, wow, what a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then Purdue Northwestern. Never did predict that one.
Yeah, I know you missed that one, Tan.
Saturday. I was saving the best for last.
I mean, a month ago, this game would have been interesting, but Northwestern's kind of fallen back to earth a little bit. I don't know a ton about. I know Boo Booey's the kind of their guy. That's about all I know.
I haven't watched them much.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think it'd be a game where I think we win by double digits and kind of keep it
I'm ready for a real comfortable one where we can give Morton some run and some other guys.
I think it's a game where we can hopefully get out to a comfortable lead in the second half and kind of keep it at arm's length the rest of the way and don't let them, like we saw against Minnesota where we got up 14 and all of a sudden they cut it to 7 real quick. Hopefully we can kind of keep it at double digits for the whole second half or something.
Ray says, have a nice night. Great job. Got to go watch more game film on sectional opponents. Yes. Good luck, Ray, in sectional.
Great.
I'm going to go Purdue by 23.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
23. I'd love it.
We need it.
Of course, when I don't have a
Easy,
Zoom
man.
call. Should be good. And this is non-basketball related, but Super Bowl predictions.
You don't want to hear mine, Tanner.
No, I already upset myself earlier tonight with my Super Bowl predictions. So.
I think Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a good one though. I'm excited to watch it. It's just kind of cool to see kind of the legend kind of passing it off.
Don't say that, Evan.
He is.
It's not cool.
It is cool.
Nobody likes
it. It was cool if it was Breeze and Mahomes. Just kind
it would be way cooler if it was Breeze.
It would be way cooler. Yes.
Torched him, Kermit, but.
I mean, I love Patty Mahomes. Sorry, Tan, but
no, it's tough to stomach because he's entertaining to watch. He's the most entertaining player to the league. He's a good guy, but he kills my team twice a year, and it's not going to stop for the next freaking 15 years. So.
I think it'll. I mean, they can't pay those guys that much forever, so I think
their windows eventually good. But when you got him around, he's got to make guys good. So
I think it's a close one though.
I think it's I hate saying I think Kansas City wins 34-27.
Yeah, I think it's fairly comfortable. Double digits.
It should be a good one. And it's got to be the biggest attended sporting event in the US since March. 23,000. So it'll be different, but at least it's got to be something.
Yep.
So but before we wrap things up here, the Boiler Breakdown podcast is brought to you by Webb's Family Pharmacy. Webb's Family Pharmacy is an independently owned community pharmacy with stores located in Rochester, Akron, and North Manchester, Indiana. Webb's is happy to announce that they are now providing flu shots by appointment right in your car. Simply call to set up an appointment, and their friendly and caring staff will be happy to help you. For all of your high-quality medical equipment, supplies, and pharmacy services, check out www.webrx.com or give them a call. Webb's Family Pharmacy, professional pharmacy with a hometown touch, Boiler owned and operated. And I saw at their Rochester location, they got a new addition to their staff there, and he is a Boilermaker grad as well. So keep it going. Andrew, why don't you hit us up with that last sponsor read?
The Boiler Breakdown podcast is brought to you by Schroff Landscaping. Schroff Landscaping has been in business for over 50 years and can handle all of your landscaping needs, including landscape design, maintenance, irrigation, hardscaping, fall cleanup, and their licensed lawn applicators. Contact them today for all of your landscaping needs at 574-223-2769. Schroff Landscaping, design with you in mind.
I should get a hold of Mitch and see if they do snow removal. They probably do. I mean, they probably do different snow-related things. And need to give them a text. So any final thoughts? I don't have any football news this week. So I did see Brady Allen got invited to the regional combine for the Elite 11.
Yep. Nice to see him.
Besides that, I got nothing.
Yeah.
So spring football starting in a couple weeks or something?
18 days.
Yeah.
February 19th.
And then I didn't realize that they only have 35 days to get it.
They got a window to get everything in. So
it'll be done early.
It'll be done real early. So hopefully they just can get all in because last year's was cut short. So, but
it's a W tomorrow.
Yep, let's boiler up, hammer down, and get some turtle soup, beat the Terrapins, and then beat the Wildcats on Saturday.
Boiler up.